Reddit, what's the scariest theory known to mankind? Forget the name, but the idea that there are fourth-dimensional hyperbeings existing around us that we cannot see, just as two-dimensional beings wouldn't be able to see us. But they're always there, always watching. But if I were a 3D cube in a 2D space, wouldn't part of the universe cast me, thus projecting a small 2D part of me, a square? Wouldn't we be able to at least see part of them? The Great Filter, an extension of the Fermi paradox. There are large events that filter out which species make it. Humanity has either made it pass more than almost anything else in the galaxy, or we've yet to hit it and the human race will crumble in the foreseeable future. Or we try to prevent it and plot twist that is the big filter. Only too late did they realize that the Great Filter was knowledge about the Great Filter. In a billion years the galaxy will be populated only by a lazy and unimaginative species that explored the cosmos, because it's the most boring thing they can think to do. There's a small cabal at the highest reaches of government that know their greatest threat is public knowledge of such a concept, and so actively assassinate anyone who comes up with it. Exoarchaeologists are watched closest of all. Solipsism. A theory you cannot disprove. No matter how accurately we can map the brain and log what electrical signals fire when and where, when you and I eat chocolate, even if our brain's activity is identical, we can never check whether or not we're experiencing the same sensations. Solipsism is this notion, but on steroids. One can never definitively prove that others are real, and not a figment of one's imagination, let alone whether or not they're experiencing anything as real, conscious beings like oneself. It's perfectly plausible that the I one experiences is the only conscious, thinking entity in existence. I hear a lot of people say that the idea of existence, as well as the universe itself, is pointless, as if this is something to be afraid of. I feel like it's strange to perceive this as a frightening concept. The existence of sentient life in the universe is pointless, and the universe itself is pointless. According to what we believe we know of existence, that appears to be completely true. What other way is there to have it, however? If you're religious, you might say that religion is the reason for existence. Life is fleeting and only acts as a way of measuring subjective morality. The afterlife is what really matters. But why does the afterlife matter? You live for eternity. But for what? For the omnipotent being? What reason does it have to continue existing? Does it just have a symbiotic relationship with its creations? If so, what's the point of that relationship? To further exist? You might notice the cyclical nature of that concept. Replace the omnipotent being with the universe, as discussed above, and the end result remains the same. In fact, if any reason for existing that you might state involves continuing to exist, whether you're conscious and sentient in an afterlife or whether you're just a pile of bones, then it is self-contradictory and doesn't actually answer the question for the presence of us in the universe. Ultimately, existence in itself, whether that is as an inanimate object or as a sentient being, doesn't matter in any way. For anything of any level of intelligence or power, we will follow the rules that we as a collective set out for ourselves. If you believe that that is bullet, then there is nothing you or anyone else can do about it. There is no choice available to you to reject the pointlessness of existence. You can only measure yourself according to the rules and characteristics of the existence you may experience. It's like a video game. Ultimately, the idea of a video game is pointless. You play it to enjoy it and improve your character, but in the end the state of your character or the state of the game is moot. It doesn't mean you shouldn't play it, however. After all, the existence of the character doesn't matter, nor does the game, nor do you, nor does humanity, nor does the universe or any omnipotent beings. So live life to enjoy it, do what you can, go out and do something you've always been afraid to do. But don't avoid being afraid, because in 2000 years time nobody will remember. Avoid being afraid, because existence itself, whether that is today or 2000 years from today, is entirely incapable of producing any form of result that matters in any way. Just exist for the sake of existing and be glad that you were something that had the ability to perceive existence itself. Is the you that woke up this morning the same one as the one that fell asleep last night? Frick no, I was fricked up last night. Going to get buried, I'm sure. But after a near-death car accident I had a dream that scared the ever-loving it out of me. In my dream, same car accident ensued, except this time I died. Death was nothing but my thoughts. I still had my consciousness, but no physical reality. I couldn't feel a thing and it was all pitch black. It was an eternity of nothing but my own thoughts. Not